welcome to another episode of Life Changers, and this is Mike. Today I want to talk about how you are limitless. You can do anything you want, just like the movie The Matrix. And that's the episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day. No, but it is true. Believe me or not, I don't care. You are constantly creating. You are constantly manufacturing. Well, maybe if you are a manufacturer, you are manufacturing. But you are constantly creating and your new reality, you're manifesting, and you don't even know it. Even if you're like, hey, first time listening to this podcast, I like this guy talks about manifesting, and he says I'm manifesting and creating. What am I creating? What am I manifesting? Your whole reality, everything around you. Everything. How many people watch the movie The Matrix? You can put your hands up. I'm looking. No, but when you watch the movie The Matrix, were you ever like, I could do it, I could fly. I'm not going to limit myself no more. I'm in the Matrix, and how real that is and how fun you're having, right? Well, who knows? Maybe that movie is an insight to saying, hey, you guys, stop limiting yourself. You can do anything you want. But you're the one that's stopping yourself from achieving your goals and achieving anything you want. I find story time, I guess, story time with Mike. But I find that when I go out and when I'm in creating, and that when I'm like flowing and just creating and I'm just having a good time and everything's going my way. And then I know the difference when I'm creating like negative things and things are not going my way, but I'm thinking about negative things and whatnot, so things happen. For instance, my business. When I started the new brand, it took off, went crazy, and it was amazing. And we were having employees, and we were doing all sorts of things. And the new brand was like, wow, it really has a lot of traction. But I limited myself by saying, oh, well, after 2020 and 2021 ends, in the sense of when they're done with the lockdowns in northern Quebec, and they're done with all these mandates and stuff, that, my business will slow down because we're in the transportation business, and that we were really busy because things needed to go and get delivered, and especially that nobody wanted to go anymore. Nobody wanted to get in the trucks. Nobody wanted to deliver, but our company was still rolling. And and I was just like, we're doing amazing because it works, and everybody's in Quebec is locked down and they're not allowed to leave, and people still need food. People still need all their products that they order online. And then I would tell myself, like, as it slows down a little bit, and I'm like, it's slowing down a little bit because, like, everything's open again and people are traveling. And I created that, right, saying, they don't need as much groceries because all the people are driving to get groceries and all that from, like, hard-to-reach places, and they're driving the 2 days out because, they've been locked in their communities and their cities and their houses for 2 years. So of course they're going to go out, right? And then I created in my reality with my business that, everything's going to slow down and we're going to start over, and then it's going to pick up slowly, and then we're going to, flow the way it should flow, right? The only reason why I had such a big boost is because, crazy circumstances and all that, and everything just worked out. But I know now, as I'm talking to you and as I'm sitting here thinking about all this stuff and saying what I'm saying, is that I limited my company's progression. I stopped it from growing and inadvertently, making it slow down and all that. And then I'm like, well, I'm a lot busier on the commercial side and now on the commercial side of things, and I'm doing all this stuff and getting all these contracts and stuff, which I am. But then I'm slowing down the progression of the non-commercial side, where we deliver to people's homes and stuff. And that's my fault. I have nobody to blame. I would project a lot on my wife, saying, you're in charge of social media. We should be posting every day, and people need to know that we're still in business, because I would see comments every now and again on Facebook going, hey, is this company still in business, or is it just one of those companies that, there's an opportunity, they rose, now they disappeared. Well, no, we're here to stay. And, I always tell myself, like, all these billion-dollar companies are advertising every day. Coca-Cola is advertising every day. Disney World is advertising every day. Everybody's advertising, because if you don't hear about it, then it's not your reality. So then you won't use their service, their business. You won't go to Disney World. You won't, stuff like that, right? So if all these companies just stopped advertising, you would stop going. You stop using their products. Power of suggestion. Yeah, you're thinking, well, no, Mike, I'm not going to just stop drinking Coca-Cola. I love Coke, If I don't hear the commercials, it doesn't matter to me. I'm still going to drink it when I see it and stuff. Yeah, but when you see it out there and in the stores, it's all advertising, it's all placement. No, we are all in this amazing universe together. But in this universe, look around, that we are always bombarded with all these suggestions and all these things going on that would bring us back to our old self or to a programming that we may or may not know we're running. It's hard to believe. Like, people are like, oh, Mike, you always say this word program, that I'm programmed and that I'm, not in control. I'm not saying you're not in control. It's just, look at it. Do you find yourself living in the past? Do you find that what I'm saying is resonating? Do you find that no matter how much you're pushing forward, like you're trying to this, and I'm going to push and push, that you end up in the same place you're always at? And I'm no different. I'm not special. I'm still in the exact same place, right? I'm still trying to break free of my programming and changing my programming. I've been meditating every night, listening to guided meditations, Dr. Joe Dispenza. What? But, yeah, and I do a guided meditation from him, and then I'm still working on waking up early enough to do a morning meditation before I head to work, but I digress. But no, we are the only ones that stop ourselves from progressing. I know we could do anything in the world you desire. You could step into any reality. We all know, we all watch the movie, believe it or not, the movies of the Avengers and all that, or DC movies or anything like that, how they talk about like quantum field and infinite possibilities and infinite realities. Like, yeah, that is real. Quantum physics is real, right? All this potential in the universe is real. Scientists are studying this stuff every day. So it is all real. But they put it in all these movies like, oh, it's not real. Like, no, it's just a movie, right? And that's what we're like looking at it going, oh, yeah, if it's in the movies, it must not be real. Like, come on, if Star Trek was a TV show and movie, but it's not real, right? Is it real? I don't know. Maybe not in this reality, but maybe in another quantum reality it is. But it's up to you to decide what is real and what is not real to you. It doesn't matter what anybody is telling you. It's that you can literally do anything and achieve anything you want. And some of you are thinking, well, no, Mike, I could believe in anything, but doesn't mean if I believe I can fly that I'm going to fly. It's like the song, I believe I can fly. Do you believe you can fly? People are flying every day. People are traveling all over the world every day. Might not be flying the way you think you are, but people are flying every day. And just imagine, go back 100 years or whatever before flight was a thing, and tell them, oh, people are flying all over the world. I can go anywhere I want in hours. I could be anywhere. They'll be like, what? And who knows, maybe 20, 30 years from now, maybe more, maybe less. You'd be like, hey, I could just think of a place and I'll end up there. Because we all figured out how to hack into the quantum realm of things, and that now it's a thing. And then we'll look back and go, hey, people used to fly, take 4 hours to fly from the East Coast to the West Coast. I get there in a second, right? But in this current state of reality that we are in right now is we limit ourselves. I'm just going to state the truth. In this world right now, believe it or not, I believe. Sorry, I like saying that. But I believe and see it around my reality. Maybe it's just me creating it, but I see it a lot and all that, of how we are all living as victims. Either way, we're all victims of something. Might not be the victim that you see on TV when I'm a victim, my house been robbed and all that. But we're all victims of something. We're always like, oh, pity me, oh, poor me, oh, this. Whenever you tell a story like, oh, hey, this is how I broke my arm. And I remember as a kid thinking, like when I was younger, going like, all these people are telling all these crazy like stories of like misfortune, but I don't have any. Should I have some stories of misfortune? Should I feel sad and be alone, even because whatever, right? And like, I had a very interesting upbringing, and I used to think like, Should I be the victim, right? Because like when I went to English school, I went to an English school which happened to be in more rich neighborhood. That was the only English school available near me, and it happened to be like an hour and a half, 2 hour bus ride by school bus. But I digress. And and people would pick on me because I'm poor and I'm, oh, you're so poor, you can't afford Nike, blah blah blah. And I never played like, oh, I'm the victim. I get beat up all the time. I need Nike. But I felt like I should. And I don't care. Like, if you could hate me right now for saying this, but this is real talk with Mike. But people need to hear, in this reality, it's not our fault, but in this reality, we are programmed to be the victim. It's everywhere around us. I see it in all the TV shows. I see it in movies. I see it when I hear the news, or I hear the news on the radio, or see the news on TV and stuff like that. That we are programmed to be victims, and that's all there is to it. I know people around me that play the victim very well, in the sense of like, somebody is like, every day it's like, oh this hurts, or oh this hurts, this hurts, I'm getting older, this hurts. There's always something wrong with them, right? And they're like, oh Mike, do you have any I use essential oils and stuff. Do you have any essential oils or any vitamins that can help me with this and that? And I know for a fact, and I've done it to this person more times than once, or twice, or 3 times, where I just like pulled out, I just pulled out an essential oil that I had. I'm like, yeah, this is for upset stomachs. And it was just peppermint. I didn't have the Zengest one on me, but I was like, yeah, this will help you. Or, here. And I had like, candy, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is like a vitamin, it'll help you with your sore throat or whatever, right? And this person is so suggestive that no matter what, oh yeah, I feel better right away, right after. Then next time I say, oh, I got a major headache, I get, I'm prone to getting migraines, or I'm prone to this and prone to that. Yes, real talk here. If you are constantly saying that, oh, this always happens to me, this is supposed to happen, oh, this, of course it's going to happen. And yeah, we all play the victim mentality. If you don't want to be a victim, or if you don't want to limit yourself, well, stop. Realize it. I know it's hard. I see it too. Like, even in myself sometimes, I'm like, oh, I blame, people around me. Oh, this is happening because you're not doing your part. This is happening because you're not doing your part. I know what I'm, But no, we got to stop. Just nip it in the butt. Sometimes I'll be watching this new show. I'd be like, this show is really cool. It's really good. But usually, like, after, like, maybe one season, sometimes 6 episodes to get in, it just gets into drama and victim. And I just can't watch those TV shows anymore. Like, even if they're good series on TV or on whatever platform you're watching. But I'd be watching going, oh, that will never happen in reality. Like, everything's always exaggerated. Everybody's the victim. Oh, I'm the victim because this happened. And you see it in all the damn TV shows and movies. Even like kids shows. My kids are watching some stuff on TV, and when they're at grandma's house or whatever, and even like in there, I'm like, oh man, these cartoons are playing victims. So my kids are gonna be like, I need to be a victim. And yeah, I do have one of my kids that like seems to have the poor me mentality, the victim mentality, in the sense of like, oh, this is. Oh, my finger hurts today, I hit it. Or, oh, my brother kicked me today, and stuff like that, right? Just exaggerate everything, because that's what's all on TV and that stuff. I'm like, you know what? No more TV. I'm going to start making my own cartoons without victims in it. But no, like, I don't care if you see it or not, but you will see it, and you will be like, yeah, this is true. And you might be screaming at your radio right now, or screaming at your phone or computer, whatever you're listening to me on, going, no, Mike, you're just creating that everybody's a victim around you, so you're attracting victims. Touche. I would say you've been listening. Good job. But this whole world, at least, see, not this whole world, okay? Key for where I am in Canada, the U.S., like the Western countries anyways, seems to be playing a lot of these things, like Hollywood and mainstream TV and media and all that's all like, victim, I'm a victim, right? And of course, Good. What's the most profitable news on TV for news is bad news, right? Oh, this happened. There's a victim here. This person went crazy, and now there's all these victims over here, and that's all they're shooting at us and just filling us full of crap. So we got to stop manifesting the same old crap and just doing a loop and live now and silence everything and do not allow that into our reality. And do not allow things to limit us. Because who told you that time is real? Who told you that? Right? Is time real? We accepted time, but time is not real. We made time. As they say, it's, human made, right? Man made. We made time. We decided that, well, the sun goes up, the sun goes down, so therefore that must be a day and, whatever, right? We all agree on time change, but not everybody does. There's parts of the world that don't do the time change thing, like the fall forward, spring back, the 1 hour change. It seems to be a Western thing, seems to be a Canadian-U.S. thing. I don't seem not to happen too much, maybe parts of Europe, but a lot of other countries, they don't do that, but we agree that, oh no, this is time here, right? So that's how everything works in our reality, is that we all come to an agreement. Like we agree that, Christmas is the 25th of December. We all agree that, I'm not saying all, this is my reality in my Western world. I'm sure it's a lot different in different parts of the world. And I've been to Germany and Europe, France, and all over Europe when I was 18, so a lot younger. But I need to travel more to see what the world. So if people are listening to me from different parts of the world, please tell me, like, things that are different. Like, I know here in Canada, like, and the U.S. and all that, like, big thing is soap operas, right? All this drama, soap opera. But maybe in other countries and Eastern countries and Asian countries, stuff like that, it might be different. I know, like, sometimes I like watching Bollywood movies because they're so upbeat and fun, and and there's like not that big dramatic like drama and then all this stuff, at least in the things I've come across. But I digress. But no, like, we are the only ones that limit ourselves and limit on our reality and say, like, no, we cannot achieve that. Just like, here's a fun fact. For the longest time, let's say the world record for the track and field, like, here's better than track and field. And I even heard this in other podcasts and other discussions and other books, is running a 5-minute mile was unheard of. Right? People, oh, no, you can't run less than a 5-minute mile. Like, 5 seems to be a maximum, like you're pushing it, right? And now there's people that pushed that to like a 4-minute mile. And now, somebody broke the barrier, so now a lot of people can do it. Because now they're accepting, hey, if you could do it, I could do it. I could achieve anything I want, right? So, like, now that's like a thing, like, where, yeah, you're able to do that now. Like, just, right, self-driving cars. Go talk to people back 20, 30 years ago. Cars will drive themselves. Oh, yeah, that's far-fetched. And I believe they have all the technology for self-driving cars right now. It's just we as society, as people in our world, and need to accept it slowly. So they're introducing all this stuff slowly. Like, I remember years ago they did, this car can parallel park itself, this car. But if you look back, like even in the 90s and maybe late 80s or maybe in mid 80s, I don't know. But they had robots in warehouses that can, go pick up a pallet and drive it all the way to where it needs to be. Completely autonomous. Doesn't need nobody. Knows exactly what's going on around it. And they had warehouses like that for years. But only like when I were like, new technology, right? It's old technology. But we as people need to accept it, so they give it to us slowly, right? And we're going to accept that in our reality. That, yeah. On one day, people will be like, I used to hear people used to drive their own cars. That's just crazy talk, right? Maybe be a conspiracy in the future. People used to drive their own cars. Did you know that? No, that's just crazy, right? But yeah, we drive our own cars. But soon we won't be driving cars. Who knows when the technology is going to be released? But, and has to go through all this bureaucracy and stuff, but I digress. But you just got to know that you are in complete control of everything you want. That the only one stopping you from achieving your goals, the only one that is limiting you is no outside forces. It's you. And yeah, there is, I guess outside for it. Maybe I'll take that back. Rewind. No, but like, yeah, you have to recognize that, like, okay, yeah, maybe there is all this, at least where I live in Canada and when I'm in the US and stuff, like there's all this drama and there's all this like victimization and all that. No one is really, the world does not program you to live now, enjoy now, be happy now. Who cares what happened this morning? Who cares what happened yesterday? Who cares what's going to happen tomorrow? Just be happy. Live in the moment. Be all you can be and just be happy. Because you have to know that you have to choose that, okay, yes, I understand, Mike. I am in control of my reality. And I understand that there is drama seems to be like the number one selling thing these days, and victimization and stuff like that going on all around me. But I choose not to have that in my reality, and this is the reality you're going to have. Just understand that if you're mad or upset or whatever, you choose those emotions. Yeah, somebody might came to you and flipped you off or cut you off in line, but then you chose to get angry and you chose to let that into your reality. You have to, here's another one that people might get mad at, but you got to take responsibility, right? I take responsibility. It's not McDonald's fault that I got fat. It's my fault, right? I created this in my reality. And when I'm ready to move on and love myself, forgive myself, and just be motivated enough and not get trapped living in the past, being the old me, that I will be able to release it. And people are like right now probably yelling, "Oh, that's not that easy. It's not how it is. It's all the, you go to the grocery store, right? And everything's processed or everything's just ready to eat crap. And it's just easier to eat out at restaurants. Just easier to eat, microwave dinners or pizza pockets, blah, blah." Hey, man, I do the exact same thing. I agree. It's harder and harder. Go to, I don't know, like at least in Canada, I noticed, like when you go to the baking section, it's harder and harder to find ingredients to make your own food and your own stuff. It's all like ready to go because now that's the way it is now in 2023 is instant gratification. I want food now. I want, pizza now. I don't want to buy the dough. I don't want to buy the cheese. I don't want to buy the pepperoni. I want the pizza now. Or I don't want to have to make the dough from scratch. I don't need to buy flour. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I need it now. And that's another fun fact, another programming of this world that we're in is, instant gratification. I wish, trust me, I'm the same way. I'm lazy in the sense, and I know it's my fault. It's my choice to accept that into my reality, but I am lazy in the sense of I wish I can just sit down and make a nice homemade fresh meal from scratch like it used to be back in the day with my parents or my grandma, how they used to grow up and make stuff. And like I enjoy making bread, but now I just throw all the ingredients in the bread machine, push a button, and go, haha. But even that I find hard sometimes. I'm like, no, because it's a fast-paced world, at least here in Canada and the U.S. It might be slower paced in other parts of the world. But here it's like a rat race, right? And that, oh no, I got to rush and do this, rush. So here's another thing that limits you or that changes you, and you don't even realize it, is every year, and you might have heard this from other podcasts or other quick fun facts, but every year is your birthday, right? And what are you celebrating on your birthday? What do you think you're celebrating? Like, it's a year I was born, right? It's a year of getting older. It's now I'm one step older, and now I got to look older, and I got to feel older, right? And it's all subconscious programming that if you look in the world, like, oh, as I get older, and I mentioned it before, right? I have a brother-in-law, I have my brother, even my dad. My dad used to be like, oh, no, I'm young. I'm going to be young forever. I'll be 100 and still be better than you, son. Like, okay, I like rock climbing. I'm bringing rock climbing back. It's a trend. But, like, I like climbing trees. I'm not afraid of heights, not afraid of nothing. But now I limit myself because I have fears. I allowed fear into my reality, which really just pisses me off. But I allowed fear into my reality. My dad, even at some points, like, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but at 18, 19 years old, I was diagnosed with WPW, Wolff Parkinson's White Syndrome's disease. It's a rare heart condition. And I focused on that in my reality, like, oh no, I should slow down. Right? Oh, I feel my heart. Maybe my heart's going to stop. Maybe I'm going to just drop dead today. I don't know. Oh no, maybe that. And I started worrying about it subconsciously and a lot. And then I was like, oh no, here, I'm going to have this. It's going to happen. Oh, right? And like, poor me. And I focused on that for many years of my life. And yeah, I stopped being as active, which in turn got me to the size, with my belly, which my daughter likes. She likes to like, oh, Daddy, I just put my head on your belly and it's soft and I could hear the ocean. They all make fun of me. I said, what are you going to do when I'm skinny? They're like, well, I guess you're not going to be so cuddly no more, Dad. Then I won't hear the ocean. I can't slap your belly and make a wave. I digress, though. But yeah, and I see how now I look back in the past, which, I tell us not to do. Don't focus in the past. But I could see all the progression, which you could use in now. But like even my dad, like he was limitless. He was like, I'm going to be stronger than you no matter what, son. And I'm like, oh, I'm tough, Dad. I'm tough, right? And we would like wrestle and play games, and like he'd always like show me how tough he is. And he never believed he was going to get older. Well, lately, I talked to him. He's like, oh, yeah, I just got a checkup and this is happening and this and I'm getting sore arms. I'm not as young as I used to be. So right now, his attitude changed from like, I'm going to be young forever to, well, I'm not as young as I used to be. So then, I'm getting older, son. And when you get older, you slow down. Who says when you get older, you slow down? I see some people that are really old, ancient, that are older than me and like older, like 60, 70 years old, but yet they can keep up with me or they can keep up with younger guys. It's you that limit yourself. If you believe that, oh, another year, my birthday, happy birthday, now I'm older, oh, I'm going to slow down. Like I told you about my brother-in-law, oh, well, when I turned 40, I started getting old and, everything hurts and sore and I can't work as long and this and that. Well, you know what I'm going to say? You're just limiting yourself. But in the moment you tell him that, he's just going to be like, you're crazy. Just leave me alone. You're nuts, right? And I understand. I was the exact same way. I still am that same way. See, it's easy for me to see all these things, but it's hard for me to look in myself, right? So you got to understand, you are self-projecting your reality, a lot of issues that you might have onto other people around you. So if you notice, like I was mentioning earlier, I was blaming my wife, oh, you're in charge of social media, it's your fault. But she would say, well, I don't see you stepping up to doing it. And then I'll be like, well, my spelling and my grammar is not that good in English or in any language. She's like, yeah, but I still don't see you trying to write posts and advertisements and send it to me to correct and fix. Because, yeah, I limit myself there. I always tell me, I'm not good at spelling and grammar and all that, whatever, right? I limit myself on that. But I could choose a reality where I'm amazing at it and step into that reality, and I guarantee you it'll work. But I have to believe, and I have to truly believe in my heart and step into that reality and accept that reality and allow that reality to flow for it to manifest. Like I mentioned many times before, it's always easy to be negative. And I think I figured it out why in this podcast today, in this conversation I'm having with myself and with you who are listening, all my lovely listeners. But is that, yeah, that's the way it is, because all we're bombarded with out there is negativity, because that's what I guess sells the news. That's what is popular trend, right? It's just, being negative, being the victim is what's trendy. Because when people see me and hear me talking like, and they just think I'm a pompous douche, I guess. I don't know. But I'm like, I could manifest anything. I could do anything, right? Just the other, who knows how people perceive me. I have my idea of how people perceive me. But like when I'm talking to people like, oh yes, my experiment with the casino, when I go to the casino, I don't go there saying I'm a loser. I'm just going to donate. I'm here just for a fun night. And, I'm going to leave, empty handed. Oh, leave your wallet and your credit cards and your debit cards and your car or your vehicle so you don't spend more than you have. Go with your $100 and be prepared to lose, right? How I go with the mind frame of, I am here, the universe is going to give me what I need, and I want to have fun, and I want other people around me to win. Here's the key. When I want other people to win around me, when I'm bringing out like good vibes, good energy to people around me, then everybody's successful. But if there's one person, like if I'm like having good vibes, winning, we're talking to people and they're like, okay, like I'll trust you, crazy person, and just talking to me when I'm trying to gamble, telling me good vibes, I'm a lucky charm. Just because I'm sitting here, you're going to be lucky, right? But it works when they're like, okay, I'll try it, haha, right? And then they start making a little bit, winning a little bit of money. So fun fact, just the other day, I happened to be driving around, picking up some equipment for work, and I was like, I'm near a casino. I haven't been in a long time because I've been very busy. Let's see if I still have the law of attraction of winning, right? And then I went in there with the frame of mind, like I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to meet people, and I'm going to bring them good vibes. So then I'm sitting down beside this lady, and she had like $250 on the machine. She's betting like $2.50. And one of my, I guess, strategies is you go to casinos where people don't bet a lot of money, because then when you start betting the $5, $10, like you have a higher chance. Mathematics. I love math. I love probability and stuff like that. So in my reality, that's how I see it. But it's mainly just good vibes, being happy. So I sit down on the machine, I look at her, I'm like, hey, you doing good? She's like, no, no, losing, but not too much yet, I said, well, that's about to change, because I'm here. She's like, oh, yeah? And maybe in her reality, she looks over at me like, this guy's just nuts. He's just full of himself, right? And I'm like, tell you what, let's take that 250 you have in there, and now I'm going to give you good vibes. I'm going to bring you good energy, because that's what I want to do. You are awesome. You're amazing. I want you to see that 250 to turn into 500. I said, can you do it? She's like, yeah. I said, look, let's do it. Like I said, you're going to get a bonus soon. You're going to get a bonus. Do you believe you're going to get a bonus? And then, other people start listening, and then there's other people coming around, and some people recognize me, like, oh, hey, it's Mike. It's the guy with the horseshoe up his butt, right? But no, it's like, it's the happy-go-lucky Mike. And I was like telling this lady, I was like, you think I'm crazy, but you have to come here with the mentality that you are not here to gamble, that you're here to have fun, good energy, and that the universe will give you whatever you need and deserve, right? And she's like, okay, yeah, And I was telling her a story how I was talking to another lady, and now this lady, when she sees me, she wants to find me and sit beside me. It doesn't matter what I'm playing. She wants to sit next to me because she's like, we just have fun. And like, we're all screaming, we're high-fiving, we're propsing, we're all like, yeah, good energy, woo, right? We're getting a little crowd going. And before you know it, the lady just looks over at me and goes, well, there might be something to this. She's like, I never once played this game, got, ever a feature, like a free game feature, or we're playing a game called Spin It Grand. I don't know if you want to see what it's like, just Google it on YouTube, Spin It Grand. But anyways, and she's like, yeah, like I get the free spins, and then, you make a little bit, like $20-$30, and then I'm like, right? And I'm like, well, no. And then she's like, yeah, I got re-triggers. Like she ended up going from, you start with 8 free spins. She ended up getting like 36 free spins, winning a few $100. And she's just like going great. She's like, well, maybe there's something to this. And then I start triggering and winning as well. I said, well, good vibes. Everybody's going to be winners around here. Everybody can win. Everybody can choose to win. Are you a winner or not? So I'm just like going around talking. There's other people at other machines. They look over at me and they're like, I don't know who this guy is. And some people recognize me. Oh, hey, Mike, you're still going crazy over there? Yep. But no, like I don't tell you these stories because like, oh, I'm amazing, right? Because anybody can do it, right? You just got to believe that you are awesome, that you're whatever, a winner, and just bring good vibes. I know when I'm bringing good vibes to people, they start winning. And, I don't go all the time because gambling is very risky, Caution. Go at your own risk and all that stuff. I'm not encouraging it in any way. But it's just my experience is that when I do decide to go sometimes, I'm having fun. You win some money and you have some fun. And there's a lot of times that if I go and I start becoming that pompous, like, oh, I'm amazing, look how cool I am, then I start losing. And then the crowd disappears. Because that's how it's going to work, right? It's either, and that's a fine line when you're At least for me anyways, I find that, being like happy-go-lucky, flowing with the universe too. I'm amazing. I'm this, I'm that. And then I become like an arrogant person or whatever, and people are just like, oh. And then the energy of the room changes, and then I know, and I'll start losing. Don't get me wrong, I've lost before when I became greedy and selfish, and when I would sit there, and I explain this. I like, there's this, the couple's just hanging out there, and we're talking, and I explained that to them, like, hey, there's times when, like, you sit there and you'll see somebody winning, and I get angry that they're winning and I'm not winning. Like, no joke. The same Spin a Grand game, one time I was playing and I dumped a lot of money. I dumped probably $1,000, $1,200 in it. And I'm all angry, and I could feel the energy go from happy-go-lucky to, hey, look how I'm awesome. And it didn't happen the same day, but this was years ago. And then I'm like pushing, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to win the $10,000 jackpot is like 10,800 or whatever. And I'm going to win it today because I'm the best, right? And then I lost it all, everything that I just won that day. And then I got up, and I'm like, oh, and I had like a couple hundred left, and I'm like moping around and go to another machine, right? And then somebody sat down, a little old lady sat down and started betting, and she was confused. She was angry. She's like, why did the game stop? It didn't give me the feature, and then it's just frozen. And I explained to her that she won the $10,000, the grand jackpot. And she's just like, what? And then I got angry. I'm like, well, that should have been mine. Who says that should have been mine? Me? The universe didn't give it to me, so it's not mine. It's nobody's. It's whoever deserves it. Whoever needs it is going to get it. But I digress. So there's a very fine line. And then when I was hanging out with this lady, and in the end, she ended up telling herself, she was up to 1,400, and then she was like, oh, well, I'm going to stop at 1,000. And there's this a little crowd, and they looked at me, and they're like, oh, what's he going to say? I looked at her and says, no, you just ruined it. She said, what do you mean? I said, you should have stopped at, you're just under 500, 1,500. You should tell yourself you're going to stop at 2,000 or 500 or whatever you want to stop at, but never lower than what you're up. She's like, why? I said, because now you just put in the reality that now you need to lose that $400, and then you'll be happy with 1,000 and leave. She goes, well, I will be happy with 1,000. I said, I understand that, but you're manifesting that now you're going to lose and stop at 1,000. She's like, well, I put it in the universe, and there's other people behind me like, oh, let's see if Mike's right. And then, yeah, she got to her $1,000. She's like, this was awesome. I had a great time. She goes, yeah, maybe next time I see you, I might sit next to you and see if you got some good vibes going, right? And, hey, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm grumpy and whatnot, and I just go to the casino thinking I'm cool, and then it doesn't work out. But, but no, it truly makes me happy seeing other people happy. And that's when I am the most successful, I notice, in everything I do, is that when I'm helping people and motivating people and seeing them happy and seeing them succeed, now it does not, it used to when I see people take my advice and they're succeeding more than me, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Why are they better than me? I'm a loser, right? And then, self-sabotage again. I started entering all this negative energy into myself, and of course, I'm going to go back to my old self. I'm not going to go back to the one the me that I know I am. It's funny, I used to travel a lot too, trying to find myself in the sense like, oh, well, when I was 18 years old, I'm going to go to Germany because, I could be whoever I want to be in Germany. And yeah, when I was in Germany, I had a great time, met a lot of people. I said I was staying there 6 months, and I just had a blast and started dating this girl, and I was cool. But then the moment I got home, I started getting back to my old self. I was like, oh, now that I'm back home, it's the old me. And then, my girlfriend at the time flew from Germany to Canada to visit me. And then she's just like, there's something different about you. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe because, I'm back in Canada, I have to be, the old me, right? And then it didn't work out. We broke up. But, you can move, you can chase, right? Start chasing. We're always chasing something. We can start chasing to find ourselves. But you are right there the whole time. It's up to you to decide if you're going to let you live in the past. If you're going to be like, well, this is my childhood house that I lived in. Now I'm an adult, so of course I'm going to be the same person. You don't have to be the same person you were when you were younger. You don't have to be the same person that you are today, tomorrow. You could be whoever you want all the time. So do you want to be the one that keeps on cycling back, going back to the old self, letting the body control the mind, and just, oh, this is easier to do this? Or are you going to look and find and just be who you want to be and attract by you deciding like, this is who I am, this is where I want to be, this is what, just like me right now. I want to be a successful podcaster, and I want to travel the world helping people. I want to go do live shows all over the world, all over. And then that's what I want to create. So that's the reality I'm going to step into. And I'm just going to ride the wave. I'm going to surrender and trust and just ride the wave. And just do the surrender experiment and let the universe guide me and do whatever. And I'm just going to accept and go and just do what I feel I need to be doing and whatnot. And stop trying to control things. Just let the flow of energy help you. A lot of people listening are like, well, I know how to do this. I know how to manifest. I manifest this and that. And it's just, but how do you get it constantly? This is a question I get asked. I do lives on TikTok. Sometimes I did a live like twice this week already. And so a lot of people ask me like, well, how do you get into the flow state of like constantly just receiving energy and just, it's hard. It's hard. I'm like, yeah, I understand that is hard. I'm trying to find that too. But I find for me to get into the flow state, I find by quieting my mind and meditating at night and just relax the body and just sit there, right? And just be nothing in the middle of nowhere and just see what you want to create. See what's out there for you and try to connect to your higher self. Keep that flow and do not let the negative energies come in the world. Do not let your past come up. Live now. Be happy now. Enjoy everything now. Like I was the other day having an argument with my wife and and yeah, she's like, you keep on wanting more. You want. You'll be happy when. And she's like, I know this guy, and I listen to his podcast all the time. His name is Mike. He has Life Changers. And I'm like, touche. But I know you never listen to my stuff. But I digress. But it's true. I always see like, I'm always looking to the future. That I'm not enjoying life now and enjoying everything I have now. Being able to do what I want when I want. Yeah, just do whatever. Like, if I don't want to work today, I'm not going to go to work. Then I won't make money, but because I don't have any employees at this time. I scared them all away. No, I literally believe 1,000% that I manifested everybody leaving. All my employees, which, hey, they found better jobs and stuff like that. Power to them, right? Or I hired a guy and ended up not working out or stuff like that. Just, a lot of negative energy and stuff like that. And I would tell myself, oh, I don't need this guy because he's so negative. I'm trying to find people that are upbeat and positive and have the same energy flow as me, blah, blah, blah. But we're all not perfect. We're all trying to be perfect. We all think we're perfect. In our realities, we're all perfect. Or some people are really hard on themselves. Because that's what we're going to talk about in the next episode is you got to love yourself. You truly have to love. Maybe I'll talk about it right now. You truly have to love yourself and love people around you. I'm working hard on loving everybody around me and just wanting everybody to succeed. It's funny that when I hear somebody succeeding, people I know, and they're like, oh, hey, that's a great idea. I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to succeed. And I feel this negative energy going, what? No, you think you're better than me? You think you're this? You think you're that? And I'm just like, whoa. Calm down, Mike. Take a deep breath in, relax, right? Don't let that energy in. You should be happy. And I am truly happy when I see people succeeding, listening to the advice. But like it's, when I was doing the real experiment on as you heard in the podcast, if you haven't heard it yet, you should look for it. Called The Real Experiment. It's great episode. But I learned a lot that the moment I start getting like, oh well, why did that person winning and not me? And not loving people and not just being happy for them, that I just bring all this negativity to me. And I know the cash in my pocket's all going to be gone if I don't get up and leave right away, because that's how it works. At least for me, in my reality, that's how it works. And I know it's me limiting myself. I could look back at everything in my life and I could say, oh, well, I will be more successful if it wasn't for this person that came into my life when I had started my company, or when this person came in, or this happened. I would always blame outside forces, but I know now I got to blame me. I know I didn't get that contract because, and I still say it, I don't get these contracts because like these other people are corrupt, or this guy, the guy that owns the company is bidding on the contract is probably like sweetening the pot somehow, like telling them, oh, hey, here, I'll give you some money. I'll do this, right? Give me the contract. And I'm an honest guy. I'll never do that, right? And that's what's, I'm projecting all of my insecurities, all my stuff to everybody around me. I got to realize like, hey, it's easy for me to judge people, but it's not easy for me to judge myself. So here's a fun little exciting experiment for you. Bring somebody in your life that you might have thought like, oh, this person's so rude, right? But if they really are rude, no, don't bring them into your life. But bring somebody in your life who can help you. And just like I did that with one of my buddies, like as a joke, right? One of my friends, and I was like, hey, every time I notice you doing this, I'll say this person's name, because we both agree that that person is always negative. So I'm going to say that person's name. And then he'd be like, oh, hey, yeah, no, I got to be me. I got to be me. I don't want to be like that, right? And you can do the same thing to me, like call me, like look at me and be like, oh, hey, Mike, you think you're a victim? If I'm ranting or being like victim, I'm a victim of those. Then keep me in check. You need somebody. You need the buddy system to keep you in check. If you want somebody to help you, instead of you projecting and trying to find that you're projecting onto everybody and you're creating all this stuff in your world because your insecurities or your mistrusts or stuff like that, then you just got to look at yourself and be like, wait a second. So do you want to learn the hard way, or do you want to learn the easy way? Have a buddy system, have somebody who's flowing and jiving and going through the same experiences that you are, where you're trying to just love and be happy and enjoy life and create, and have them keep your buddy system, keep you grounded. I have another friend that I keep around. I love him to death, but I have another friend that I keep around, and I'm like, hey, you're my posse. That you're not going to let me, as we say in French, tête gonflée. I'm not going to let my head fill up, my ego or whatever, get all like, oh, I'm amazing, look at me, It's like when I do a TikTok live and I get like people watching and people commenting, and I get like, 50, 60 people at once, all chilling and hanging out, and we're all just having a good conversation. I'm all like, oh, go home, I'm so excited to tell my wife, or the casino thing, I go home and tell my wife, and she's just like, oh, calm down, honey. Don't want your ego, that's the proper word in English. You don't want to let your ego get inflated, right? Your head will explode. So you need people to keep you grounded if you're going through life. Like, I know for a fact, I limit myself from being multi-millionaire. And a lot of people do limit themselves from being multi-millionaires. I limit myself from winning the lottery. Do you know that? You might be like, what? It's true. I don't want to win the lottery. Why? Because, well, when you win the lottery, a lot of crazy people come out of the woodwork asking you for handouts. Then, you lose friends or whatever, right? But then I don't want people to think like, oh, he's only, he's not self-made. He won the lottery, and then when you have money, it's easy to make more money and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. I'd rather make my own money and get to the point where I'm successful and multimillionaire, and that I choose not to limit myself anymore. Because why you ask? Why I hear people say, why are you limiting yourself from being a millionaire, Mike? Why? Because, well, there's two things. Like I mentioned in a lot of my podcasts, is I was programmed to be poor and stay poor subconsciously. Believe it or not, that's the way I was raised, to be poor. And if you want to hear more about that, well, you should listen to the earlier podcasts. But yes, inadvertently, my parents and the situation I grew up in is we were poor. We're always going to be poor. The rich get rich and the poor stay poor, And even now you see that in the world, like, oh, the rich people are always going to be rich because they're feeding off all the poor people or the middle class, and then we're always going to stay there, and we're never going to do this. We're never going to get rich. Well, no, I choose not to believe that. I choose in my reality that and I always say when I'm ready and not going to be a big egotistic crazy person like, oh, I'm so amazing, I'm rich, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to be the same old Mike with my I don't need nice things. I don't care to have a nice. I used to be like that. I'd be like, oh, this guy has a brand new truck. I'd be in Florida, and there's people have brand new trucks, brand new like toy hauler trailers, and I'm like, oh, I got an '05. But you know what? I own everything I have. I don't have debt. I own everything, so that when I sell it, it's cash flow. I digress. But yeah, I subconsciously, and I believe here's another thing. I believe that if you look at the world and you look at mainstream TV and movies, TV shows, blah, 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 everybody seems to be middle class. And that whenever there's really rich, successful people, they're always the villain. Oh, no. Right? Just like Superman, right? There's the rich guy, his friend. And oh, no, right? He's the villain now. So rich people are villains. Having money is bad, right? There's TV shows and I watch. I don't know what they're called right now. I don't really care. They're not paying me to talk about them, but there's shows I watch where they make people that have a lot of money seem crazy. Like in those shows, like I don't know, Cops or I don't know, SWAT and all that. Or all these other shows wherever there's like really rich people or the elites, right? They're really rich people. These people are all multimillionaires. They're crazy. So there's movies out there where all these rich people are like, well, we're so rich we can get whatever we want. So like, I'd rather play games where like somebody's going to get murdered tonight. It could be me, woohoo, right? Or I don't know. They always seem crazy and stupid, and that rich people are just greedy and total whatevers, right? So maybe subconsciously we're all like, oh, I don't want to be rich. Subconsciously, we all want money. Everybody craves money, and everybody craves to be super rich and whatever. But yet, in all mainstream stuff that we see, it's always the rich people that are breaking the law, that are doing stupid stuff because they're so rich they're bored. And I say, that's all BS. There's a lot of amazing people out there who've broken the stereotypes, who are successful and who are rich to the world, right? Like old me would look at me now and be like, oh, hey, you're rich. You know, you don't have any debt. Yeah, because I bought a 2005 pickup truck and for cash, right? And I fixed it up and it's a nice truck. See, here's my thing. I don't want to have all this amazing, nice stuff because then you're not going to want to like, you drive it to a store and somebody like, oh, I might scratch it or this, and you're always worried about some. I just want to have things that are working amazingly and not have people target me and rob me. The joke is when I'm buy a house, somewhere, it's going to look like a piece of crap. I even said this as a kid. It's going to look like a piece of crap house. And people are going to be like, I'm not going to rob that guy. And then underneath, I'm going to have like bowling alleys and stuff, right? Good kids. That's what I used to think of when I was a kid. And I'm going to be that rich already. And yeah, I'm sad and disappointed that I'm not that rich. But hey, it's all a work in progress. But just know that you are limitless. You can do anything you want. You are amazing. You are important. And that you can do anything. And I say anything. You can step into the reality where you win the lottery if you want. You could step into the reality where you have all brand new nice things debt free. You could step into the reality where you find the love of your life. You could step into the reality where you have the most amazing job of your world. Just step back, look at what is stopping you or limiting you from achieving your goals that you set forth for yourself and go, aha, that's what I'm doing to sabotage myself. Well, now I'm going to do this instead because I'm going to embrace the moment. This is what I'm attracting, and this is where I'm going with my manifestations, and this is what I want my reality. And I'm going to step into that reality, and I'm going to do that meditation, and I'm going to see my reality. And then when I come out of the meditation, it's me going into the new reality, the new me, the new you, where I'm limitless. And I can do anything I want because you are limitless and you are amazing and you can do anything you want. We're the only ones that say, oh, I can't do that. That's impossible. We're the only ones saying, oh, I can't run a 3-minute mile. I'm not going to be able to achieve that. Well, I'm never going to achieve flight. I can't afford to fly. I'll never go to the Bahamas. I can't afford to do it. Then you never will. But if you tell yourself you can and you will and you are, things will happen that you'll just be like, wow, that's amazing. I manifested this. and be happy. Give thanks and be happy when people are successful around you. Be happy when you see people that you talk to and you help motivate them, because people want to feel that energy that you have. They're going to feel that amazing, good energy that you have. And they're going to be like, I want that energy. I want that flow state. I want what you have. You're so happy. And just share it with the world. But be happy for them. Be truly happy for them. And as you help people, it's just, you'll be amazed how all this opportunity will open. I want you to take the time, write down right now, or when you're not driving, if you're driving, or when you're at home, or you have paper and a pen, or you have a place you can write down anything. Write down all the amazing stuff that you manifested in your life. And write down like things that happened today, like living in the moment. Like, wow, I'm living in the moment. This feels amazing. This is what happened today. And just write down those moments. And keep a journal. I call it a manifesting journal. Just keep a manifesting journal. That when you know you achieve, and that you feel like you're connected to your higher self, when you're receiving guidance and you're receiving all this download from the universe, and write it all down. And then look back at the times when you think like, oh, I'm not achieving nothing. I'm not moving forward. I'm stuck. I'm spinning my tires. I got the brake and the gas pushed to the fullest right now. I'm going nowhere. And look back at your manifestation journals and see like, oh, yes, this is what I need to do. This is where I need to be. This is what I have to do. And just trust. Just know that you are amazing, that you could achieve anything you want. You are limitless. Look for positivity out there. Look for other podcast books. Look for uplifting things that will help you move you forward in your reality. Create a group in your communities where you can have people and just hang out and talk and have good vibes and just enjoy life, be happy. Get out there and be happy and live in the moment. And remember, though, that yes, you are a work in progress. Take it one day at a time. And this is Mike with Life Changers. I love everybody. Be good.